into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
What is this?
Say Everybody Loves a Clown.
Oh, hey, everybody loves a clown.
Which is not true.
Except for the Vehm.
Vehm don't like them.
They're full of lead in their mouth.
And that hurts. What do they call it? Lead sprinkler?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Welcome to the
Yes.
Blacklist AFTERBUZZ After Show. We are here talking about episode 11?
12?
12?
11?
I'm going to be on top of it.
All right. 12? Episode
12.
Thank you. The Vehm, which the Vehm are now number 132 on the Blacklist.
Yeah.
I'm Joe Braswell. I'm joined, as always, by the lovely Julia Cearley.
Hello, gentlemen, everyone. Hi.
And I'm joined, increasingly, as always,
Yeah.
by the almost equally lovely Joe SanFelippo.
I appreciate the loveliness. And yeah, you're very lucky I'm here.
It's like 4 times in a row?
No, I skipped one. Remember a couple weeks ago and I got all kinds of grief.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
All right. The Vehm.
The Vehm.
Vehm.
Let's talk about Vehm.
I mean,
Oh, God.
no.
Oh, God.
Welcome to the show. Lots of, John Bulkenkamp said, buckle up, this is going to be a strange one. And he was right.
He was correct.
It was a strange one. Lots to discuss. But before we get started, I want to have you join me for a little limeade and scotch.
Oh. Cheers,
Limeade
gentlemen.
and scotch.
I have the scotch.
Cheers.
You have the limeade.
Scotch.
So sweet and rum. That's another show I'd watch. I thought for 1 minute, for 1 second, Aram's gonna be like, "You can come back to my place." It cuts like Aram riding like Cooper home on his handlebars.
and we'd have to put the music behind it so we can have the clown music
friend
too.
by Queen or whatever it is. Anyway,
My best friend.
Yeah, I really like that. Lots to like in this episode, and I'm really loving. We have a very somber, almost creepy, very angry, pissed off Red for most of the episode. I was trying to figure out his tone, and then I realized, he's mad because Lizzie got beat up and is not home resting, and he got the guy who got her, and she's pregnant, and he knew it. So. But Red played the whole episode pretty much from a standpoint until he got to the campsite. But he could play the whole episode like with a frown and very like somber. And I was like, I was afraid of him. Like,
Well, he's also worried about what her... Well, he is mad. He's,
I was
he's
afraid.
Wondering what her next move is going to be with Tom.
Yeah. And now we have the spy baby, but now the debate is: does she keep the spy baby? Does she adopt the spy baby? Give the spy baby for adoption. I love that they just they're not even politically making the move to not even bring up
Not keeping the baby.
Right. It's adoption or it's I'm keeping it.
That's it.
So that's interesting. Which it still seems. Well, I don't get into that.
It seems like there's one of those. It almost seems like it's one of those things where there's like a missing scene. Like there's been too much death. We're not gonna.
Right. But it's also a thing too. The keeping the baby safe or keeping the baby. If anyone knows if there's a baby in the world that's connected to Lizzie or Tom or Red, it's still in danger.
Yeah.
So it's almost like if you have the baby, then you should keep the baby to keep it safe, as opposed to sending it away to some non-spy parents. Who,
right?
Some
muggles.
Squares.
Some muggles.
Yeah. Yeah, some stiffs, some muggles. Give me a minute. But lots to discuss here. I want to get 3 things I want to touch on. I want to touch on, we will get through the whole Vehm and that whole storyline, which is goddamn confusing. Maybe it's not that confusing.
It's not that
Too confusing.
Okay. Well, then maybe I'm an idiot.
I
I understand what
happened.
happened. I still don't understand why. That's all.
What do you mean?
So the Vehm, this religious group, remind me of the High Sparrow in Game of Thrones, but like the
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah,
very
totally.
much. I saw with the hoods and the thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, where's the? So anyway,
With what's his name? The Infinity own one. You understand? What's his name? The actor.
Jonathan Pryce.
Jonathan Pryce.
Anyway, so
The Infinity
so they come up with this great opening
one.
scene, and I feel like everyone loves a clown, but as you said, I think it's clearly everyone hates a clown because, well, the
Flippin'
clown
hate him.
The clown got his comeuppance. It was like we all hate clowns. Let's see what happens to him. That was pretty disgusting.
Was that too much for you?
It was a bit much.
I kind of hear
All
you.
of it was a bit much. The medieval thing and the thing, I'm like, what are they pouring down? And then turn out it's lead.
Yeah.
And then those shots of him burnt up. And then like,
You guys are babies. I love a good torture scene.
What a way to go.
love a good medieval torture scene. Come on.
What's
They
the
re-
helplessness?
Back in the
What a way to
medieval
go.
days, they really knew how to do it.
They were good.
Yeah, they were
really-
inventive.
They were.
You gotta give it to them.
You know, you really can become incredibly inventive when you're torturing for Christ.
Yes.
There's just something
Take it
that
easy.
happens when
Take it
you're
easy.
torturing for Christ.
Well, yeah. So they knew how to do it. Not like those. Never mind. not like Bush Cheney. Those.
Oh yeah, you poured a bucket of water on his head.
Waterboarding, what is that?
This is the torture humor. This is where we're at. This
That's
is
What's
where
happening?
it's at right now.
This is where they brought us.
It's a derivative show. It's where they set us. That's where we have to go.
So that so then we find out that these guys are part of this group and they're getting their information from we see this one guy get his information from a priest, presumably a priest who gives him a file on the guy. We learn that these guys are all bad guys or child molesters, presumably, and this is why they're being taken out. And then we learn actually the perpetrators, the people in the Vehm, are actually former child or former pedophiles themselves who have self-mutilated themselves and are now eunuchs.
Yep.
Another Game of Thrones callback.
Now, here's where I'd like to briefly, technically get into this, if you feel like we're in the position to do so.
I do
Well,
not. I do not.
maybe someone on the YouTube chat
No,
room
but
will
I did
have
a
an
little
idea.
research here because I have to say there are several levels of eunuch.
Okay.
There are several, and if you feel prepared to have this discussion, because I feel like it's an interesting discussion to have, because apparently if you want to prevent a boy from having urges as he moves into adulthood, the Italians did a lot. They called them castrati. It was so you could keep these high tenors, these boys whose voices never changed.
Right.
You would just take off the testicles.
Okay.
And you would leave the unit there, but if you want to stop a man from having the urges, removing the testicles is not adequate. You have to remove the entire situation.
So got it.
And then once the entire situation has been removed, then you have to keep something in the urethra to keep an opening to piss from.
Okay.
And apparently you heal around whatever you kept up there, and then you can remove it later on, and then you pee like see what I'm saying?
Great. And usually they would use.
I don't know. The bamboo is
Yes,
what we
thank
came
you.
up with, but that was the ancient Chinese thing. I cannot imagine.
We
there's-
did some heavy Googling.
Yeah.
Before the show to
I'm not sure where you go to. Would you go to the flower shop? You're like, have you got any really small bamboo? No, it's gonna have to be smaller.
So this is our public service announcement to you who are
welcome.
wondering about eunuchs or the degrees of eunuchs or the whole history.
Well, I mean, if that's part of the
more you
episode,
know.
the whole thing, and I don't think shaving the eyebrows is required, but it's certainly what they
All right.
chose to do.
So they self-castrated themselves, and they were walking
You don't have
around
to say
because
self-castrated themselves. I mean, you can just say they self-castrated. You're being a little double.
They self-castrated themselves.
It seems redundant,
It's
doesn't it?
double redundant.
I think so.
All right. Yeah.
I'm not sure. I've never done it. Not gonna.
They
That's
and
it.
then
It's more like a whoosh and
So they're out there, and it turns out that actually they're not getting, they're not doing this they're not killing child molesters at all. They're actually killing money launderers.
I think it's probably safe to say that the clown and the child psychiatrist were not laundering money for anybody. I think they were probably pedophiles. But
They were getting a little mix of both, right?
yeah, but I think that Red's guy in the beginning, he said he has a very dark side, but his dark side has nothing to do with children.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so that guy was not a pedophile. And then, so it turns out that some of the guys were, but I think the ones we saw were, except for the last guy,
right.
who only
Is
got
that-
punched in the grill.
Now is that to help? I'm just trying to get.
Okay,
to the
so
whole-
the cardinal was in charge of rooting out corruption at the Vatican Bank.
Yes.
And this is actually based on a real story. This is actually something that's ongoing and has been going on for a long time.
Okay.
The Vatican Bank has been laundering money for various organizations for a long, long time. No one will ever know the extent of it because it's the Vatican Bank and it's its own city in the middle of it's kind of like it's a Disneyland-sized city in the middle of Rome, and it has its own jurisdiction, and it can do whatever it wants. So the Vatican Bank was being used for a long time to launder money for various organizations. There's all this whole shit went around it, and then with the new Pope, he kind of came in. He said, "No, that's fucked up." And so he put some people on it whose job was to stop the Vatican from laundering money. And so what this story is kind of taking is extrapolating that and saying, okay, this is the guy who he put in to get rid of the corruption. He rooted out the guys who were doing it before, and then he took over.
Got it.
And so what he's doing is using the Vehm to eliminate the competition. So he's getting rid of anybody else who launders money so that everybody has to come to him. And then Red, essentially, in wiping him out, is making sure that the playing field's even clearer, and he's the only game in town.
Well said,
Did that all work?
Yeah.
Well said.
So
Here.
in summary, he's using the Vehm to wipe out them so they can come to him. Woo! Hey-oh! It's all right. Black folks turn everything into a rap. So, I don't know. So I do understand. So that's what happened. I think it's interesting. A couple things are interesting about this episode and the choice of how they chose to tell this story. I thought it's interesting that those people that did get it were pedophiles. So maybe that is to give us a lack of empathy for the way they went out, because that's the way to go. So it's like, oh, that's a horrible way to go. Oh, well, they're pedophiles.
That's it. That's the bone for us. That's for the audience. Like,
and then the other bit,
it's okay.
The other bit is it feels like that, the writers and those guys kind of felt like they said, this is a Spotlight, Academy Award nominated Spotlight, excellent movie. But like, let's do something about the Catholic Church and pedophiles and kids, and let's do that story. And then it's like, well, we can't really connect the two, but we can have them in the same area of each other. It's just bizarre to me.
So you're saying that there's two circles running, but they can't overlap.
We have
That's
the
too much.
priests in the Vatican and the cardinal here, and then we have the pedophiles over here.
And
they're kind of overlapping.
Never the twain shall meet.
It's a Venn diagram of such, but they're not saying it's the same thing.
It's not.
I mean, it's
I got you.
Yeah, so it's interesting the way they did that. It kind of, so they kind of got it in there.
Well, the other thing is, it's not like it's a news story, and it's not. I think it's been beaten pretty hard. It's been beaten on pretty good. I think there's not anything particularly new about doing that story. You know what I'm saying? If you make it about priests, then it's really. And it's too simple. It wouldn't serve the storyline anyway, because the storyline is about the money laundering.
Okay. Well, I agree. But actually, to me, the storyline is not so much. We're returning to the old days of the Blacklister being the sort of the throwaway story, and the A story really being about the people we care about. Obviously, the A story here is about the spy baby and what's going to happen with the spy baby, and what's going to happen with Tom and Lizzie and all that good stuff, which I want to get into. So, as we confirmed last week, Liz is pregnant. We see a Tom Keene who we haven't seen in a while. It's back to like
Season 1 Tom Keene, without a doubt.
He's so sweet.
He's earnest and sweet and loving and adorable.
He's off to Boston.
It's kind of annoying. I miss Badass Tom.
You miss Badass? He'll come back.
He's off to Boston. He got a teaching job.
How?
I don't know. The background checks in Boston. I don't know.
Yeah, you went ahead and parked the car and have it. Yeah, well, I don't know. You don't exist anywhere, but yeah, we'll give you a job.
What accent is that?
That was terrible. It was terrible. I apologize to the city of Boston.
Okay, please. Northeast. No.
That was horrible. Please. I'm sorry, Boston.
We didn't do it. So he's very, he's sensible. Is this the Tom Keene you've been waiting for, right?
No, I like Badass Tom.
Really?
That's my favorite
now,
Tom.
let me ask you this.
Badass shirtless Tom.
Let me ask you this. Now, I should ask my wife this too, because she thinks Tom is hot. Do you think you love Badass Tom because there's a layer underneath that they spent all of season 1 giving you, where you saw all the sensitive, lovey-dovey Tom, and then when it turns out he's a badass, but that layer is still there, but you don't like to be reminded of it, do you think? Would you have loved Tom if you'd never seen the first season of I love everything, I wear cardigans? If you had not seen that, if you'd just seen Badass Tom, would he be as sexy?
If he took his shirt off, yes.
Got it. So it's much simpler for you guys than I thought.
He was also just a lot more fun when he was Badass Tom.
Yeah, that's true.
Every
He was
girl
having a
likes a
good
bad
time.
boy.
He was having fun. He was making jokes.
He was making jokes.
He was kind of hardcore.
Now, the dog's back.
The dog is back.
The dog.
We wondered what happened to the dog. There's the dog.
Where's the dog been?
He's right here, Kate. Good to see you, little
tell you
guy.
what.
So you know what? It's fine if they give the baby up for adoptions. They'll just get it back when they're ready to be a family unit again. Just like the dog.
Can we board the baby, please?
Yes.
We'd like the baby to stay.
I want to talk about this list.
Her pros and cons.
The pros and cons list. I mean, I had paused it. You read.
I'm not a doctor, but whenever I write out a pros and cons list that involves the person I'm currently sleeping with, I don't leave it on the table. Oh, I turned it over. You'll never flip it back over.
I think that's that
Bit of a
bad.
trope. Little cheap, I thought. Anyway, so pros
Fair
and
enough.
cons.
Yeah, so the pros and cons list was interesting, and like Julia had 3 on the cons list. It was, you know, all on the pros list. And the pros list was kind of weak, too. Like, start a family... Tom,
normal life.
Normal life, and then it was like, I have no friends. Yeah. I have no friends with kids. Like, I'm a felon.
Felons can't have babies.
There's that.
So I was a felon.
I don't know. Well, I want to get one thing out. I do want to get rid of the elephant in the room for 1 second.
Is there an elephant in here?
There's an elephant in here. One second. And her name is Lizzie Keene.
Yes.
So I just, you know, we've been getting a lot of flack lately.
We did get some flack.
Yes.
Well, we in general, over the last 3 seasons, we've been doing the Blacklist. First of all, I just wanted to be known and said that we love the show. This is why we do the show, right? We love all the characters, including Lizzie. We love the storylines. We've been very positive about the direction of the season. The rest of the show this season.
Absolutely.
It's not. First of all, there's 2 things going on here. And the first thing is part of what we do here in this show is we try to break down the episodes a little bit, and then we want to talk about what we think, what our opinions are of the episode and the characters and maybe sometimes even the actors. We, in particular, it's no secret, are not huge fans of the character of Lizzie Keene's choices. And so we're critical of Lizzie Keene's choices, the way she's written, and sometimes critical of Megan Boone. But it's all in good fun. I think it's sort of, we should have the right to be able to do that, and not just be like, you know, all pro Blacklist all the time. Because we love the show. We're already in an environment. This is a safe environment where we all love the show. So,
are we not in the tree? I thought we were in
the tree of trust.
No, but I think that when we love Lizzie, we'll love her, as Joe says all the time. And when we love a Ram or Ressler or Navabi or Cooper, we'll talk about them as well. Or my man Chris Christopherson, who had a line today.
He did.
He did have a line,
didn't he?
A line
last night. Yeah, he did. He had a couple lines.
So did Dembe. Dembe speaks too.
Dembe had a line too.
Dembe was the best this episode.
That was a cool ass lean he did with the coffee cup too. The movie's like, I'm right here. Like leaning against the thing that Christopherson, like the coffee.
Oh yeah.
I was like, yeah. Anyway, so we're going to continue to talk about Lizzie in the good,
the bad, the ugly.
Let me say one thing, and I don't want to beat this up because it's going to take up half the show if we do that. There's only one thing to say from my point of view. A show like this, you don't have one actor creating a character. It doesn't work that way. You have the writers, you have the directors, you have the producers. You have an entire group of people that creates a character. It's not like it's an actor that goes out there with something out of the void and creates something. It's not fair. That this is a whole group of people that creates this. So when we as an audience have a response to what's gone on, it's not a response to a particular actor. That's unfair. It's a response to an entire process. So if for some reason we feel that something's going on that we think is goofy or silly or whatever, we're not going after Megan Boone. We're feeling like there is a character direction that the entire show is taken that we don't like, or maybe that we think is silly. So does that make sense? I just feel like we should say that because it's not like these things don't exist.
She
in a
just
vacuum.
happens to be the representative.
That's
of
it.
Right. So there's that. So all that being said,
and who the hell are we anyway? Who cares?
No, it's good. So Lizzie in this episode bugged the crap out of me again.
Having said all that,
and there was some bits in there. So and look, I don't know. Who wants to start?
I don't know. I feel like we backtracked a lot in all the character development that we've done in the last 3 seasons. This was like episode 1 all over again. It seemed like between Tom and Lizzie, and now
okay with that.
And now that she's brunette again, she just doesn't trust Red again. Yeah. After everything we've been through, we're back to the same tropes that we were doing in season 1, season 2 that drove us mad.
And now we're
Give
back.
me blonde Lizzie back.
Read what I wrote after she said "get out."
Yes.
Come on, Lizzie.
Enough. She's sitting there with her emo music, starting over, loving Tom again, like.
Swear to God, she reads like the diary of a 13-year-old. It's unbelievable.
And we want to. The show is centered around Elizabeth Keene.
I know.
Yes.
Here's the other thing. I want her to be worth all the shit that people go through for her.
I know.
Like everybody's like centered around this thing. Then
we
wouldn't be worth it.
Still don't know why.
I don't get it. And here's the other thing: the Red Daddy shit is back. He's talking an awful lot about when Mom was pregnant with Liz and all the things she was thinking about. Remember, on day 27, she was thinking this. Day 32, she thought that. Day 18, she thought this. But when you were born, I'm like, oh, are we bringing back the daddy thing? We sure are bringing back the daddy thing.
Yeah. People were mentioning online that Megan Boone's acting's gotten better. I agree. I think Megan Boone's acting is definitely better from season 1 to now. I think that she's like lived in this character. I do believe Megan Boone as Lizzie Keene, and then seeing Megan Boone outside of Lizzie Keene, seeing her out and being talked to and everything else, I think that she's clearly different from Elizabeth Keene. So it's not all Megan Boone, but I'm just really like Lizzie driving me nuts.
Lizzie's driving me nuts.
That's all. No, I love Megan Boone. Anyway, we digress back to our normal thing. So so Tom leaves. He finds the note, and it's he's like, what? This is the other thing I'm having trouble with. The Tom the Tom arc of him. If he tracked the whole Tom Keene arc from loving guy to conniving, spying, super spy guy to agent to killing. He killed Jolene. The whole thing, the whole bit.
Yeah.
All that stuff, and then he's a Nazi, and then he's all this stuff. And then he loves Lizzie again, and he's back, and now he's just like, hey, where's the dog? Let's go to Boston. It doesn't track well with me. I don't know. Are you buying the whole arc? Is there something off, or do you think it's like sort of plays true? Like which is the real Tom Keene?
Well, I don't know. Nobody knows.
Which
is why I'm so shocked that she's all lovey-dovey over him again. Yeah, she just it's like she doesn't remember anything that's happened.
Yeah, she's kicking Red out 5 times a week.
Yep.
But Tom's no problem.
No problem.
The guy who okay.
Well, she knew what she wanted from him. Was it last week at the boat? Was that a couple weeks ago?
Red's lied to her Red doesn't tell the truth, but never lied to her. He maybe conceals the truth, but doesn't lie to her. Tom's lied to her repeatedly.
Oh God.
Anyway.
I don't know.
That being said, I want to see him happy. I want to see the kids happy. I want to see them get back together. I just trying to,
And Megan Boone's pregnant. No matter what they do, so they got to sort it out. They got to figure out what the hell they're going to do with it.
She's uber pregnant.
Is she super pregnant right now?
Oh my God, they can't even hide it anymore.
Yeah. They're and then they're behind in these episodes.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying, like, in this episode, she looked super pregnant.
And relentlessly optimistic Tom, isn't that what she called him? Like, she called him relentlessly optimistic or something optimistic.
Something like that, yeah.
Well, I think it's an interesting idea, right? Because he's this, he's obviously a screwed up kid who got picked up by that agency and turned into this crazy agent. But I do like the idea of him being able to pick what character he'd like to be for the rest of his life. I do like that. I think there's a part of me that I buy that.
Yeah,
I think
but
that's
could
legit.
you be with someone where you're like, okay, you picked this one. You have no idea who they are, where they come from.
I'm not saying from her point of view it's a good idea. But I'm saying that I understand that it could be. I get what they did with him. I get it.
Yeah.
Like, I understand. Would I choose to...
This is the life that he's choosing.
Right. Would I be like to my daughter, like, yeah, you should definitely go out with him. He's choosing currently not to be a psychotic killer. So, good. That's neat. He's going to put on the cardigan and everything.
So I thought I agreed. I thought it was interesting that Red sort of came in. He's like, he's like, I know, of course I know. And I thought that was like, there's the moodiness, the the appetite, the this to that. Of course Red knows, and I wrote that. Of course Red knows, and you can't fool Red. I've known for some time now. I also like the bit when Red's there, so explaining, trying to break down who the Vehm is, and they're asking where's Lizzie, and he's like, don't worry, she's resting. And his concern there and his anger there about that whole thing is really like palatable. And then Cooper says, we've got a team looking for the guy now. And it's like, that won't be necessary.
Yeah. You knew that shit. That stuff wasn't going to be necessary.
I'm like, okay. I did like that. And then we come leapfrogging to that moment where we come out of commercial break and we see Red like mid monologue talking. And I was waiting for the reveal. It felt like, I'm like, is this real? Is he on a stage? But like, he was very, very sincere, and then received the call, and then very coldly said what he did, and then just shot the guy point blank.
Yep.
That says a lot about Red's commitment to Lizzie. Red's the speech about what he's become. The idea is that it's like the old Sicilian thing that you guys do, where you tell him the whole story before you whack him. Like, just whack him. Like, why do you got to tell the whole story?
Now, here, in fairness to any other racist things you want to say, here's the thing about my people.
And Red's not Sicilian, but I'm just...
Nobody knows if any Sicilian ever gave a monologue before he whacked anybody, because the only person who could talk about that is the dude who got whacked.
Right.
So it's not like anybody came back and was like, you're not going to believe it. He talked for a half hour before he blew my freaking head off. It's crazy. I was like, Tony, what are you talking about? Why you keep talking like this?
Your accent.
I'm terrible today.
For a guy who does this for a living.
I know, they're really bad. So here's my point though. It's obviously it's just a comfortable trope that we all like. I mean, I think the most likely, it's not Sicilian. That's racist. But I love the idea. I do like the idea of exploring conceptually.
I mean, I said we rap.
We
rap, you kill people. I get it.
Asshole. What does Red as a character get out of that moment where he has this discussion with that guy? Because if you accept that it's not, if you take it beyond the idea of just a trope or a device to further explore Red's character and give the audience something, but what does the character get out of it? I like that idea. Like he's only able to say this to somebody that he's going to be killing. Yeah. And you wonder at some point in that, was there a possibility of this guy not being killed?
Well, there is a bit of like catharsis there, isn't there? Like, the ability to be able to say like, almost like, I don't talk about this with anyone. Yeah, and people don't really understand this about me.
And I like the choice at the end where there is no the catharsis as we understand it, like this idea that there's a release. There was none. He said all that. He shot the guy, and he picked all that baggage up and he took it with him. He didn't leave anything there. And I like the idea that he says to him, every time I kill someone, I kill a part of myself. Mm-hmm. So he's letting the guy know, this is going to hurt me, as not as much as it's going to hurt you, but it's still going to hurt. But I like that idea, and I like the idea of exploring what the character gains and loses from that. I think that's interesting.
Yeah,
it also shows that he doesn't kill just for the fun of it. It's a teaching moment.
It's a teaching moment.
Yes. Yeah.
In your next life, you're going to thank me.
With a good reason.
Yeah,
you had this coming.
I did love that scene, and I love the coolness of like, it's almost like a, hold on for a second, Lizzie. Dembe, do the thing. Okay, get back. Click. Bah, bah, bah. All right, Dembe, make sure get Mrs. Kaplan.
Yes.
Mr. Kaplan. Sorry, Mr. Kaplan on the phone. So that was cool. And then when Red continuing that, when he gets to my man at the campfire, that was kind of menacing.
It was bizarre. It looked like he was losing it a little bit.
It was almost like a sadistic version of Red. Yeah. It was like, I need to know, like, fully that he's, everything about that scene is terrifying. You get there. If this were another movie, it was like Funny Games, or that movie, or like, do that movie? Demi Watts? It's horrible. Anyway, it's like Funny Games, or the other one, like the Purge. Is that the other one?
I don't watch those kind of movies.
Anyway, the idea that you get there and here's this guy and he's got the wife and she's like, and he's like, oh, nice to join you. And she's like terrified. He's got the poker, and then he's like, I need you to tell me one thing. But first, you gotta sing.
I need two things.
Two things. Yeah. Two things. Like, there's some sadistic thing to that.
Well, and Dembe had to put a stop to it, which was an interesting thing.
Yeah. Enough, Red. He didn't say that, but that's what I felt.
That's enough, or something like that. Yeah. I couldn't be sure it was Dembe. I had to go back twice. I'm like, is that Dembe? That's Dembe.
Well, the thing about that is it makes it so chilling to me is like the guy's like, I don't know anything. I was like, okay, listen, you're gonna tell me, but now you're gonna sing first with your wife right there.
And she's gonna sing too. Take off the.
Do it. And like, okay, song's over. Now tell me what I want to know. It's like, and does he kill them? No.
I don't think so.
Right? We don't want to think so.
Why kill him? The guy's driving around and living in his Bentley, wearing a mink,
wearing their furs.
Red,
who has furs?
I gotta tell you, that scene scared the shit out of me.
I got you. It was scary.
It scared me.
Absolutely.
Between the monologue with the guy in the chair and that scene, like, Red is this. You get the really scary Red sometimes, and I think someone in the chat room mentioned the head tilt and kind of his like really. I don't know. He's something. This Red.
Anyway. Yeah, he's an international criminal.
He is. So anyway, I like that part. I want to also talk a little bit about something we didn't really touch on last week, which we should have, is the whole Ressler and Navabi thing. We because there's that moment when they sort of said, and they have that like the moment of together, they're zinging each other like back and forth.
You're lousy in bed.
Yeah, she got that loud zinger in. But then this week, there's a moment where they're kind of working together and doing the thing, and then. Cooper says, oh no, it's fine, like he wrote the glowing review, and so Navabi's working with him, and I'm feeling like it's all good and everything's all great, and really, in fact, it was not him at all. It was...
Well, the second Cooper said it was really quite eloquent. If you'd like to read it, I was like, he didn't write that. Ressler's not the eloquent type.
No question.
Come on.
The first conversation with the Rom, and Rom's like, oh, that's great. That's nice of him.
Interesting.
I'm glad to have you back.
I don't know.
And it's actually a good setup, because I think fan service, I think we all, as fans of the Blacklist and all of us out there, would much rather see Aram and Navabi together than Ressler and anybody.
Well, I don't know about you, but I know the rules of television, and Aram is going to have to hook up with somebody before he hooks up with Navabi. Otherwise, it's going to be uneven and weird. I would feel weird about it.
This isn't moonlighting.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying that as an emotional member of the audience, it's going to feel off center if he doesn't hook up with somebody before he hooks up with her.
All right.
And then she'll finally see him.
Yes, as the sexual being that he is.
I think we're close now. I think that.
Just saying.
I do.
Otherwise, she's a tease.
Or it's just getting weird. Now she's just slept with a couple people on the team if that happens. But if he's
Who's
hooked up
next?
with somebody,
Cooper? He's single now.
He's single.
Hey.
He's got scotch. Scotch.
I have a limeade. I have a helmet and a limeade. Sweet Aram. But I did like that dynamic of Navabi, and then we have to, as a character, be able to make up for Aram, the fact that Aram was the one who betrayed her out of jealousy, which it seemed like kind of an odd move, but he was hurt when he he's the one who got her, helped get her, lead to get her fired. So this was sort of his way of welcoming her back. I'm glad that she forgave him for that, and forgave him too. She forgave him too.
I was going to let it go. That was a moment of rare generosity. I was like, I'm letting it go.
It's not like you at all.
Nope.
And then so anyway, and then there's that line where he's like, it's hard to forgive sometimes, So that was all sweet. I love that. And
once again, Ressler and Navabi were really shitty FBI agents.
Honest to God, I yelled
Oh my
at the TV.
God. That was like the worst yet.
And my wife was like, what does FBI WTF mean? I'm like, I gotta say it more.
That was like one of the worst I've ever seen.
Can I just ask, does anybody in the FBI have a father, sister, brother, uncle in the FBI? Can you ask them? Is it common practice for FBI agents to be never calling for anyone to help them? Is that just common? I would think, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not an FBI agent, but I would say that, this is weird. Candles lit, multiple
screams in the dark.
Right?
First of all, they come in guns a-blazing without knowing what they're coming in for.
Right?
They had no idea what. They were just checking in, so their guns a-blazing. No one's there. Call for backup. Then they go down there, and then they split up.
And she's in a fight, and she's not even yelling help.
No!
I just fight you silently. Here's the thing. Look,
I'll let it go for a
please
minute.
just let me ask you this. Just have him call for backup.
Just once.
So that I'll know backup's coming. And that way I'll be like...
Is that your plea to the writers?
That's all I'm asking. Right. That way I'm not screaming at the TV, you're fucking idiots.
All
just call for the backup. That way, then whatever else happens, fine. I'll know that you've done something adult. And then you can go on and guns blazing and cowboy it up. Whatever.
That was the most infuriating one I've seen.
God, look, I'm red with my life.
Look, if I've learned anything from Scooby-Doo, is when you're getting is that you gotta split up.
You gotta split up. And Velma goes either way. You never know which way Velma's gonna go.
I wish. I would. I'm sorry.
I do love me some Velma.
She really could go either way.
She does.
She really could.
They split up, and then
somebody should write a song about her.
And I agree. When you're searching, dark candlelit catacombs with your flashlight only, you might want to be. Especially after one.
And then you find that crazy tortured body.
Right.
Back up.
To me,
all right. So we get that.
You could say up to that point. You can be like, well, I wonder. At that point, yeah, I think you call it hit.
Yeah.
Hey, there's some lead that's been used to open this guy up. He looks like he's rotted from the inside. Should we call it it? Now let's go down the dark corridor and separate.
Okay,
we're done.
So that happened. So that
I had to bring it up.
So that was good. And then, so Navabi did get out that great line, about
was it you were lousy in bed?
Nothing personal.
Yeah,
you sucked in bed.
Yeah. Is there any doubt, by the way,
that Ressler would suck in bed? No question.
I mean, he doesn't seem like the most, the most...
I finished up, you're good, right? All right, cool.
The most gentle, giving, kind lover of that Ressler, right?
Well, he had to fix his hair and shave afterwards.
That was important. this guy knows how to shave.
It's just not a lot of fun.
And knows how to kick down doors. Like...
Does the tie come off?
I don't know much about lovemaking, but kicking doors isn't... I understand that That's nothing you ladies like.
I love the idea as the girls in bed just, why do you keep kicking the door? I don't understand. Am I missing something?
I don't know.
How many doors you got in
So
here?
he asserts his manhood.
Yes. Okay. So yeah.
He doesn't have a sex dungeon. He has a dungeon of doors. He's got like 50. He just goes around and starts kicking them.
I think that the writers also sort of closed the door for Ressler as a romantic lead at this point, because there was that bit where you thought like Ressler might be, and Lizzie, there might be, I kept remembering this love triangle thing happening that's already dead, and then Navabi happened, and a love triangle with the Rom, and then that that still could be a play. But the fact that you were lousy in bed, and he's like kind of got his comeuppance. It's kind of hard for us as the audience, to see Ressler like yawning and putting his arm around someone and sneezing and grabbing her boob or whatever. That's my move.
Is that your move?
That's a great move. That's the allergy swoop. Oh, pollen!
That's happened to me. The move has happened to me.
That's my seduction.
And then I married him.
And then you married him. Ladies and gentlemen, Eric Cearley, ladies and gentlemen.
It works, guys. It works every time.
I like the way you sneeze. I like the way you sneeze.
I love the
yes.
The
kick down the door.
The Cooper stuff. The subtle Cooper stuff, because I feel like we kind of brought that out there with old Charlene, and we're still following up on that. I love the way they're peppering in these bits of personal information. It doesn't seem too soap opera-y. I'm talking about outside the obvious Lizzie, Tom, real soap opera, but we get little bits of a Rom and Navabi, and then Cooper's getting the roses and little touches, like he's throwing the card away and he's got the scotch out. I love all that stuff.
Yeah, I like it too.
I love that he handles it like a grown-up too. He's got a very adult approach.
Yeah,
I do love the guy in full ballistic gear.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why you got full ballistic gear on, but hey, I'm not in the FBI. I do like that full ballistic gear is apparently at the clubhouse, but you can't take it out into the street when there's you're going after the Vehm. But so full ballistic gear with the flowers, and I like his response. Very adult. My office, like, we're not going to make a thing about this, and he was even subtle with the scotch. He was even subtle with the whole. I thought it was very, very good, very nice. I enjoyed it very much. This is how adults get divorces.
And don't tell anyone about this. These are kind of the small storylines I would like to I like to make kind of pepper those in, because I want to investigate those. I want to see if Aram knows something, or do we think anything's going to happen with this Charlene thing? Should Cooper take Charlene back?
Charlene should still die somehow. I want to stick to that prediction from season 2.
I think Charlene's not going to make it.
And then he's going to be rot with guilt.
For sure not going to make it. I'm sticking with it.
And then maybe he'll turn to scotch.
Yeah.
Even more so.
More scotch.
Just keep it coming.
Limeade. I love the limeade. I don't know. What else? What else you got in these pages of notes?
I don't. It's just a couple.
Oh, that's a light note taking from you.
It's like new hairstyle.
Oh, the new hair. The hair.
Cooper's crashing at the office. Emo Lizzie.
Oh, one thing. Another thing.
Adoption.
What about the conversation? What the neighbor?
Zoe?
Yeah.
Zoe, I missed Zoe. I liked her.
You did? And Stanley?
Baby
Stanley?
Yeah, Baby Stanley. It's a weird name. But
poor choice.
I like Zoe.
Zoe wasn't happy. It was like, how much are we? Like this little shit machine. Like, she's basically like...
I liked that.
Cautionary tale.
Cautionary, yeah. It's like,
It was pretty much like, don't do it, Liz.
If you don't like having sex or sleep or eating, I guess it's okay. She's like, I'll be joining you. It's like, okay, so yourself.
Right. I warned you.
Like, what?
I've got a 6-month-old at home. I think that's all fairly accurate. I think there's nothing particularly untoward about what she said.
Yeah. You kept on having kids.
Yes, this is my third.
Yeah, you didn't just stop at one.
No. But I like to run them back every 8 or 9 years. It's a very strange plan.
That's a strange plan.
I'd like to be babies forever, please.
Yes, I like to keep them in the distant past.
No, you did it. You did it and done.
2 pregnancies, 3 kids.
Kadoosh, moving on.
Boom.
Yeah.
Now I'm a unit.
Which way did you go, Joe? Did you go with the full eunuch or?
All right.
I love my dog.
So emo Liz is back with the hairstyle, and she's doing her thing in the music, and she's trying to figure it all out, and it's fine. My man, and then Red comes back and basically says, gives a speech, and Red knows an awful lot about old Mama
Katerina Rostova.
Mama Rostova.
To not be related. I have to admit, Joe,
I tell you, they're bringing this shit back.
I know it's,
Yeah,
I
bring
know
it
it's
back.
misdirection. I know it's a red herring. I know it's misdirection.
You know what it is, but
I
still.
gotta say, I was in there. I was like, oh. It's like,
No, it was an awful lot.
like when your mother, the whole pregnancy, she was.
But then when you were born,
she was happy as a clam. Red
about
was
Masha.
there the whole time.
time.
Masha. I don't know. I have a tough. They're messing with me.
They're not messing
on,
with you.
this
I think
is
they wrote that
too
just
much.
for you.
Think so?
Too
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, I'm just saying that if what was the we may have to go back and blouse it up the other way. They might drag me far enough along that I'm bloused twice for the same
So let
thing.
me get this straight. So Red says, actually, I want you to have the baby. And actually, you have to stay close because it's not safe. I can't protect you in Boston, so you can be with Tom, but you just have to be here so I can protect you. And I want you to have the baby because I love you. I'm Red. And what do you think of that, Lizzie? What did she say?
Get out of my house.
Exactly.
Get out of my house.
Ah!
God, I would love a
Hey,
montage.
listen, I spent 3 seasons dedicating my life to protect you. We were on the lam together. I just got you exonerated from multiple counts of murder.
No.
We were on the lam.
No.
And I showed you the map. I showed you the map of what we're up against. We're doing it together.
That map had the affiliates and the actual people on there.
I just want to keep you and the baby safe. I'm
No.
down with the baby.
You know what you
Down
gotta do?
with the baby.
What do you think?
You get out of my house.
Get out of my house.
There you go.
Suit yourself, Lizzie.
That's it.
And I have
The
a pregnancy
Blacklist.
massage for you.
The cage bird won't sing. She's sad. She's now.
Am I not allowed to say this? Can I not say this?
You
Guys.
just did. Congratulations.
All right.
And
So-
then we open the door and there's what's it called? There's Chris Christopherson.
Yeah.
And she's like, where'd Zoe go? Oh, Red Butter.
I
I could
Right.
really use a
Nice
friend right now. You have a friend. His name is Red.
You got me.
But he's not. He doesn't have a baby right now. He's not a woman either.
I was good in the rose with Barbara Streisand. That's what Chris Christopherson.
Chris Christopherson, ladies and gentlemen.
I think was it the Rose? No, the Rose Bette Midler. I was good in A
I was
Star
gonna
Is
say,
Born.
you got it twisted.
I was good in A Star Is Born.
Yeah.
All right. I'm old. Last thing I'll say though, there is one, and I will give a non-shout out to. I'm sorry, Sylvia and those, but I will give a non-shout out to Megan Boone on this last line. And maybe it's a rating. Maybe this is either it's a fail to me in writing, it's a fail in acting, it's a fail in delivery. But our last lines of the show, and I'll act it out. Let me see if I can do this good. Hello, is this the adoption agency? It's about an adoption. I'm giving up my child. I want to give up my child. Click.
Well, apparently it was the writing because you were terrible
really-
too.
that was really bad.
awful.
So when it says adoption
That was
agency on the
really,
computer,
really bad.
which is adoption. I'm the horrible. It says adoption agency. When it says, I wrote it down. I read it verbatim.
Oh, wait, these are the lines. Let me see.
When it says, you can deliver these lines for
Okay.
me.
Oh Lord, this is horrible.
Wait, I'm sorry. This
No,
is,
well,
okay,
maybe
wait.
it's for because
Okay,
you
now
got
do
to think.
this. I would.
No.
This is verbatim.
Okay, go.
Hello? Is this the adoption agency? It's about an adoption. I want to give up my child.
Oh,
No, wait. When you call the pizza place, you tell them you're going to order pizza. I mean,
but if I'm looking on the thing and it says pizza, and do I go, hello, is this the pizza place?
yes, you do. Maybe they didn't answer the phone.
And then
Maybe
I
they
say-
didn't say Super Shady Acres Adoption Agency.
Okay.
Maybe they just said
And then I say-
hello, which would
Well, it's
be
a
shady
message.
anyway.
It's a message. And then I
Oh.
say, it's about pizza. But there's a pause. I'm like, it's about pizza.
I'm
And then I
trying to
said, I want to order a pizza. Like, is that?
They're going to be so mad at us. They're going to get
this
so
is on YouTube.
mad.
I'm not
Hey, man.
writing this home.
I do a podcast on AfterBuzz. I don't write a network, hit network show like
There you
these
go.
guys do. You're an actress. You're not acting on a hit network show like Megan Boone is.
Sure ain't.
I'm a producer for a living. I do stuff. I don't not for NBC. You do stuff. Not on that show. Joe, you do stuff.
I do.
Who are we to say?
Who are we to say?
Look at us. You're a gingerbread man for Target, for Christ's sake.
Jesus, Johnny.
What do you know?
Shit. I don't know how I deliver those lines because I've never been a woman. So there you go. So I couldn't decide what would happen if I called the adoption agent. Jesus, you guys are meaner than me.
Okay, what
Not possible. We're just trying to keep up with you.
All right.
well, Marcelli says she didn't say it like that. I got it wrong. So maybe you're right.
Maybe it wasn't.
Maybe, but it was, thank you, Matt B. Expositional vomit.
Expositional vomit. Eloquently put.
Eloquently
Wow.
put, Matt B.
Did a ROM write that? That was eloquent.
Let's get some predictions in here.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Julia,
Yeah.
what do you predict?
Oh, Tom
What's gonna
has a
happen with
new
the spy
job
baby?
lined up.
Oh, that's right. Oh,
Yeah.
He's working on some stuff.
I think it's going to be some criminal activity.
He's gonna line some stuff up.
Now he has a family to provide
Listen,
for.
man's
On a
got-
teacher's salary, they
Right?
ain't going to fly.
I don't think so.
No.
Not Tom. Tom choked out Liam from One Direction on the ground.
You don't care.
in a fight.
You don't even know.
Or Harry. What?
They're all the same to me.
They're all on hiatus. My daughters are devastated.
All right.
God. So, yes. And I did see a little preview. I did, because I watched it on... I got my TV back.
What happened in the preview? What I miss?
I want him to say it.
Gina Sakatacos is coming back. The Sakatacos returns!
This is so good!
Gina Sakatacos!
Sakatacos!
Oh my God, Braswell was the best.
I'm like, no!
The return of the Sakatacos.
She's coming back.
This is a glorious day.
Tom's
It is.
ex-lover.
Uh-oh.
Talk about love triangle.
Lover.
He's got some things in the works.
Yeah?
All right.
Hello, lover.
What was she? She was a corporate terrorist, right?
Yes, if I recall.
Right?
All right.
Yeah.
Sakatacos returns.
Yeah.
So, what do you have a prediction?
I just think that there's going to be some Sakatacage. There's going to be...
Sakatacage?
There's going to be some business. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but it's going to be
an awesome phrase to coin.
Yeah.
Sakatacage.
All right, great. Yeah, I predict more from this show. I'm predicting we're gonna get more out of this whole Charlene thing. I think something's gonna be up with Charlene and something or other.
I do predict that if Lizzie does go ahead and give up the baby for adoption without Tom's consent, he's going to take the baby and run.
Yes.
Tom is?
Yes.
I don't think this baby. I don't see season 4 Lizzie bumping around with the baby, spy baby. I think that baby's gonna be. They're gonna find some way to write this.
So you
baby.
think now it's possible season 4 could be like chase the baby?
Chase the
Yeah,
baby down.
the baby's kidnapped.
Chase the spy baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who has the
I
spy
mean,
baby?
he's
Don't
been
ask El Spy
walking
Baby.
around.
You know who's gonna come get the spy baby?
Katerina!
Katerina!
Yes!
Got a goddamn Rita.
Grandma's gonna raise that kid.
I'm gonna want to protect this baby.
That's it. I'm taking
Yep.
And Red's like, I had to call her.
it. And
Yep.
who's gonna play her? Who's the actress? Who they
I don't
gonna
know.
bring in?
It's gonna be someone
And then Lizzie's
good.
like, click, click, I'm gonna get her.
Oh,
I'm
it's
chasing
on.
Katerina.
Yes.
God damn it.
Who would the actress be? Who should they cast for Katerina? We haven't seen her, right?
No, we have not.
Who would you bring in?
Someone leggy.
Leggy like a mofo.
I don't know. 2 words. Demi Moore.
Demi would be strong.
And scene. All right.
Ooh.
That's all we got.
All right.
Joe, where can we
Ooh, this
find you?
Benadryl
We're
is
outta here,
fun. I
guys.
should take this more
That's right.
often.
We're out of here.
You can find me on Twitter at Joe Filippo, JoeFlippo. My website is josephsanfilippo.com.
Yes. You.
Me. Twitter and Instagram with my name, Julia Cearley, JuliaCearley. Follow me.
Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. I'm Joe K. Braz. And on Twitter and Instagram, I am at Joe K. Braswell. Thank you so much for joining us and listening to us and indulging us, Joe Flippo. What?
Sharon Stone. I would say
Oh.
Demi or Sharon Stone. Those are the
Sharon Stone!
just saying. I would
I bet Sharon Stone does
Stone.
not. Will she have a Russian accent?
well, no, because she was an agent. She wouldn't
That's
need
true.
it.
That'd be dumb. She comes back with a Russian
Yeah,
accent.
she could
That'd
just
be really
drop in
bad.
some Russian every now and then and get really hot about it.
And then where are they going to put the jewels? Jules.
In the corsets. You're going to sew them into the corsets.
Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.